But here's the good news. This loss is completely reversible. You can rebuild those engines by walking just 15 to 30 minutes a day, 4 to 5 mornings a week. And for a targeted synergy tip here, break your fast with pomegranate or some berries. These foods contain a compound that your gut turns into urolithin A, which directly stimulates mitochondrial regeneration.
Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to completely overturn everything you've ever been told about morning routines, belly fat, and the absolute best time to take a walk, especially if you're over the age of 50. Seriously, if you've been lacing up your sneakers right after breakfast thinking you're doing your body a massive favor, well, you might want to hit pause on that. We are diving into some absolutely fascinating science today that is going to make you look at your morning routine in a completely different way. To kick things off, get a load of this number, 70%. A landmark study published by the Journal of Physiology out of the University of Bath revealed something mind-blowing. They found that overweight men who walked before breakfast, so in a fasted state, burned 70% more fat during their exercise than the guys who ate first. 70%! Let that sink in for a second. That is a massive difference burned simply by changing the timing of the walk. And the craziest part? This wasn't just any fat. It was that deep, disease-driving belly fat.
So naturally, that brings us to the big question, right? Does walking before breakfast actually burn more belly fat after 50? And does it help, or could it somehow harm your metabolism? Well, let's dive into it. We're going to answer this by counting down the top biological mechanisms that make fasted walking the ultimate skeleton key for reversing age-related physical decline. We'll start at number 5 and work our way all the way up to the number 1 most powerful effect.
Number 5, fighting inflammation and insulin. Let's introduce a concept called inflammaging. You can think of inflammation as basically a cellular fire alarm. When you're young, the alarm goes off to heal an injury and then it quiets down. But as we age, that alarm kind of gets stuck in the on position. And here's what most people totally miss. Eating, especially processed foods, actually triggers an inflammatory cascade. Because a fasted walk happens before you've eaten, you completely avoid this spike. In fact, research shows moderate fasted exercise drops inflammatory markers by up to 35%. This is exactly how one 68-year-old patient named Margaret, who suffered from this mysterious morning joint swelling, basically cured her symptoms. She just shifted her walk to before breakfast, her inflammation plummeted, and her hands literally felt decades younger.
Now, to maximize this anti-inflammatory benefit, you really don't need anything complicated. Just drink a glass of water with a small pinch of sea salt for electrolytes before stepping out. Seriously, no juice, no bananas, just water and salt. Then you refuel later with omega-3 rich foods. The synergy of moving fasted and then refueling with things like wild salmon or flaxseed compounds those anti-inflammatory benefits dramatically. Moving to number 4 on our countdown, we really have to talk about glycogen. Glycogen is simply the stored form of glucose or sugar in your muscles, and it acts as your body's quick fuel source. So the absolute crucial point is this. When you wake up after a full night's sleep, your glycogen is naturally depleted. Going for a walk in this exact state forces your body to pull energy directly from stored fat, instead of just burning off the sugar from the breakfast you just ate. And wow, this shift is incredibly powerful for insulin resistance, which, let's be honest, is practically an epidemic for people over 50. A University of Michigan study found that just one single moderate fasted walk improved insulin sensitivity in pre-diabetic older adults by a massive 40%. 40%. Not a pill, not some expensive supplement, just a single walk before breakfast. It completely retrains your aging metabolism to shift gears smoothly, which finally puts a stop to those brutal afternoon energy crashes. Oh, and here's a fantastic synergy tip for your insulin health. Stirring just half a teaspoon of cinnamon into your post-walk meal, like maybe some oatmeal or yogurt, further enhances this insulin receptor sensitivity. It effortlessly amplifies all the hard work your morning walk already accomplished. Number 3, the anti-aging hormones. You know, we often hear about human growth hormone in the context of bodybuilders, but fundamentally, it is a repair hormone. It protects lean muscle, strengthens bones, and supports brain function. By the time you hit age 70, you might have less than half the growth hormone you had at 25. But get this, research from the Intermountain Medical Center found that an overnight fast elevated this repair-focused hormone by an incredible 1,300% in women and up to 2,000% in men. That is just wild.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why timing is everything. That massive hormonal surge is a biological window your body naturally opens every single morning. But eating your breakfast first slams this biological window completely shut. Walking while still in a fasted state, on the other hand, extends and amplifies that surge. I absolutely love the story of 72-year-old Gerald. He was losing muscle mass despite walking every day after eating his eggs and toast. When he shifted his walk to before breakfast, taking advantage of this fasted state, he gained 1.4 pounds of lean muscle and lost over 3 pounds of fat in just 3 months.
Coming in at number 2, rebuilding cellular power plants.
So inside your cells are these tiny power plants called mitochondria. When you walk fasted, you actually activate a specific genetic pathway involving a protein called AMPK. You can kind of think of AMPK as a cellular fuel gauge. It detects that your body is in a low energy, fasted state, and it responds by triggering a process called mitochondrial biogenesis. What does that mean? It literally builds brand new mitochondria. And walking fasted activates this pathway 2 to 3 times more powerfully than walking after eating.
This is absolutely critical because between the ages of 50 and 75, sedentary people lose up to 35% of their mitochondrial density. Losing 35% of your cellular power plants leaves you feeling, well, utterly exhausted. It's literally like a 4-engine airplane trying to fly on only 2 engines. Years.
And finally, number 1, destroying deep visceral fat.
As it turns out, not all fat is created equal. After 50, fat storage dramatically shifts to the belly. And this isn't just cosmetic weight. This is visceral fat. It's a deep, toxic, metabolically active mass that wraps around your organs. It actively secretes inflammatory chemicals and directly drives up your risk for severe conditions like high blood pressure, clotting, and type 2 diabetes.
But notice the profound difference in how these fats respond to exercise.
The soft fat you can pinch on your arm, subcutaneous fat, is stubborn. It's kind of like a safe deposit box that needs 3 keys to open. But visceral fat? Visceral fat is like a cash register. It pops open easily in response to adrenaline. And guess what naturally releases adrenaline? You guessed it, fasted exercise. Because you're fasted, your insulin is low and your adrenaline is up, making that dangerous belly fat highly sensitive and ready to burn away rapidly. The results of utilizing this biological hack are just staggering. A University of Sydney study showed that just 30 minutes of fasted walking 5 days a week reduced this dangerous visceral fat by 12% in just 4 months. 12%! This exact method helped 71-year-old Robert, who is actually on the verge of diabetes, drop his fasting insulin by 38% and lose 4 inches off his waist. And he did this without a gym or medications, just by changing the timing of the walk he was already doing. Your perfect morning protocol. So let's distill this into an exact blueprint. Follow these simple, sequential steps for success. Step 1. Drink 12 to 16 ounces of water right upon waking, with that pinch of salt we mentioned earlier. Step 2, head out the door within 45 minutes and walk for 30 minutes at a nice conversational pace. Step 3, when you return home, wait about 15 to 20 minutes before eating. This extends that fat-burning anti-inflammatory window. And finally, step 4, break your fast with protein first. Think eggs, fish, or Greek yogurt, followed by healthy fats and fiber. Now, for an exciting bonus to compound your results dramatically, here's your ultimate synergy checklist. During your walk, try to incorporate 2 or 3 very brief 10-second bursts of faster walking to really spike that growth hormone. Second, combine this entire routine with a gentle time-restricted eating window. Basically, try to eat all your meals within a 10 to 12-hour window each day. Doing this accelerates the mitochondrial rebuilding without any of the misery of conventional dieting. The science here is completely unambiguous. Your body is entirely capable of regenerating and responding to these powerful signals no matter your age. Your cells are literally just waiting for you to flip the switch. So I'm going to leave you with this question to think about. What time do you usually go for your walk, and have you ever actually tried it before breakfast? Let us know your age and your current morning routine in the comments, because a vibrant, energetic version of yourself is biologically available to you right now. All it takes is your shoes, your sidewalk, and 30 minutes before breakfast.